Campaign managers of various political parties in Ghana seek to obtain maximum visibility and appeal for their party and their candidates through the use and placement of billboards at locations that the public can easily come across. These include road junctions, medians, intersections, neighborhoods, and public places. A drive through some major streets in Accra shows various political party billboards of different sizes erected in communities such as Adabraka, Madina, North Kaneshi, Weja, Adenta, Osu, La, Teshi, and Nungwa, just to mention a few. The biggest of these billboards were seen along the streets of Nungwa, Tabora, Tama Station, and Circle, and they bore the image of the presidential candidate of the NPP in the 2020 polls. In certain instances, one could see the images of the presidential candidates of the NPP and NDC associated with parliamentary candidates of both parties in constituencies such as Wejagbawi, Ablekuma North, and Madina. The party flags, some of which were looking very dirty, were also seen on streetlight poles in the median of streets in the city. Some of the posters sighted on walls all over the capital were in tatters. The billboards of various sizes could be seen on the George Bush, Medina, and the Kaneshi highways. The billboards were viewed by people in vehicles or pedestrians, and it delivered exposure of the politicians to residents and to commuters. But did these billboards have an influence on the electorate?
It didn't add anything to in me deciding to vote. I didn't consider those things at all, because I can read and write and understand what goes on in the country. So billboards or no billboards, I can make my decision.
If I've done something good for the citizenry, do we need to raise a billboard before we could take a decision? No. To my opinion, I don't think so.
At the Dankwa roundabout within the Ladade-Kotopon Municipal Assembly, we've seen these billboards behind me and a lot of them across the roundabout, and we are asking who exactly is in control of these things. Well, not only this particular political party, but then we see other political parties as well also having these posters all over the roundabouts. Let's try and then get in touch with the authorities and find out if they have any answers to these particular issues.
Gives the local planning authority the right to give permits for structures, temporary structures, and any building within your municipality. If in 2021 you have a municipal assembly who does not know that it is part of his responsibility, no wonder we have the situation that we have. They issued a permit for the year. Some of them do not even have, majority even do not have permits. Majority. Because where they are positioned, there is no rational, professional human being that will allow some of them to be positioned in some of the areas you find themselves in.
The bylaws allows that during the political season, you should allow billboards to be or posters to be pasted within the city. But immediately after the billboards, you should be able to remove them.
The erection of billboards and other things for politicians. If it's for ordinary people, they come to the assembly, they come and take their permits, and the permit is granted, and then they go and mount it. But when it comes to politics, you know our country. By the time you get on early morning, you see all billboards of politicians. And for one reason, you can't just pull anything down. So we are allowed, by immediately election, everybody's supposed to pull his or her distance posted from public.
From Osutula, the billboards lined the medians of the streets. The road connecting La to Teshi also had its share of both NDC and NPP billboards and their party flags. Communities such as La Paz, Nima, Mamobi, and Asylum Down in Accra were no different from other areas visited by the team. It appears the municipal assemblies have an arduous task of pulling down these billboards and posters due to the political connections associated with them. But for how long Will these billboards, posters, and party flags continue to be on the streets, or are they serving a long-term purpose?
Didn't put them down there, so they have to. Because if you don't know, and as I sit now, everybody know I represent MPP. If I should go and touch NDC billboard, it will happen. I say, oh, the MC is playing politics. And if even my own party, if I should go there, it will also be something. So we allow them to take them themselves. So the assembly, we've resorted to call them. I've decided to call all political parties and tell them that now that politics is over, they should go around and take their billboards off.
Every billboard that you see or every advertising space that you see has a lifespan of a year, and they are supposed to renew it. Assuming that you came to inherit a problem, after a year, you should be able to correct it. So there's no excuse on our part to allow some of these things to happen. And I speak with a lot of pain and passion on this matter. The safety of our people in the city is extremely important. And I want to urge all my colleagues also to be on the lookout and make sure that some of these things are stopped.
For the Advertisers Association, the municipal assemblies do not have adequate resources to undertake the cleanup exercise. Hence, the proliferation of party paraphernalia and billboards across the city.
They don't even have the labor to even undertake that exercise, because they have to pay people to go and remove the signage. So more often than not, the established ones who have a permanent structures, what they try to do is to look for another client. So when they get a new client, okay, a company, a service or something, then they can pay the teams to go, and as they are hosting the new ones, then they remove the old one, because it is cost now. And then all the workers, most of them have been laid off, you understand, because of COVID and other matters. So you don't have permanent staff, you're now dealing with contract staff. And for a contract staff, before you ask him to move to go and do this work, you must be ready to pay him. So if you have not got another client, why do you want to incur cost to go and remove? That is one aspect of it, that is all. But I'm even referring to those that are not permanent structures, that were put haphazardly in medians and other things, road junctions and things like that. Nobody gives them permit for that. So the assemblies should just go and get them off.
This view was corroborated by the Adentan Municipal Assembly.
We don't have enough men to go and do the amount of work that ought to be done by the assembly in any of the fields where we are. Because when it comes to building control, there are people who are building along the waterways and we are trying to prevent them. It's the same 12-member task force that we use. Continue to mount, yes, they'll continue to be there. Not as they are, but as long as they come to us for permission to say that I want to do this, or I have put this over here, I want it to last for another year, and we go through the necessary processes, obviously, then it means to be there.
So these posters you see behind me, including billboards and party flags across the city that we keep seeing each and every day, even after the elections, will continue to be on the streets, and so authorities act to get them off the street. Reporting from 37 in Accra, my name is Ni Ayikwe Okain for Citi News.